How can simple shapes become emotionally charged characters? So, a while back I played the video game Thomas Was Alone, and it really impressed me. What was interesting about it wasn't really the game itself, it was the way the characters were developed in the game. I learned the basics of character design during my studies, and of course that included using shapes to build characters. But up until I played Thomas Was Alone, I didn't think a red square could touch my heart in similar ways as a character from a Pixar movie can. In the game, simple rectangles suddenly have their own individual personalities. They think and feel and interact with each other. And more than that, they made me think and feel and interact with and through them. And I had no idea how the creators of the game achieved that. First and foremost, I wanted to know what made the shapes feel like emotional characters. Because one thing I knew for sure, it wasn't just the visual design. The only two visual elements the appearance of such characters consists of are shape and color. They show us what they look like, but they don't tell us much about their personalities. Round shapes might seem a bit kinder, squares and rectangles might seem more stable and stronger, while triangles could feel a bit more active or even dangerous in certain situations. Warm colors like red and orange may seem friendlier, while cold colors like blue and green may have more of a rational feel to them. But colors can express quite different emotions depending on the context they're in. Red, for example, stands for love as well as hate. It's a color of extreme emotion for the good or the bad. Green is the color of life, of nature and growth, but can also be the color of poison at times. So the simple choice of color doesn't really create the impact one might come to expect. Beyond the visual shape is where things change. This is where the shape becomes a character. There are layers upon layers which add depth and give it its own unique personality. A while back I made a short animated video showing what happens when layers are added. It's linked below if you're interested. In the video I added 8 layers. Shape and color, which we already discussed, a name to make it identifiable as an individual, a story. This is by far the most important element and worth a separate video. It tells us why the character thinks and acts the way it does. It tells us its motivations and gives meaning to the choices it makes. It gives the character a mindset we can interpret and hopefully relate to. In films or games, one can also add movement and a voice. Also, the character needs a world, a place it can live in. This isn't just a technical necessity. It also constrains the character's possibilities and thereby defines the role it takes on in the world. For further depth, other characters can be added for the protagonist to interact with, like friends, family or enemies. This defines the social structure and where the character is placed in it. These 8 layers cover the basics, but are by no means a complete list. In games, for example, Steve Swink popularized the term game feel for the physical feeling the game has on the player. In terms of character design, this could be the speed in which the character reacts to an input, like jumping or moving, the weight the character has, or how the animation matches the motion of, say, the mouse moving. Carefully designed, this can add a very real physical element to the character, and how it feels physically changes how it is perceived mentally. Similarly, imagine James, a circle in a picture book. Let's cover him in fur. Adding the haptics of the fur to the shape changes the feeling of the character quite literally. If done well, all these elements work together to push the shape to a point where it relates to us. Everything beyond that point makes the effect even stronger, and a simple shape can become quite a complex being. Of course, using simple geometrical shapes has its limitations. A shape has no arms and legs. It can't give high fives or flip someone off. It also can't smile or subtly smirk while watching someone walk towards a trap it set up. Without a face and without a normal functioning body, possibilities of expression are strongly limited, at least visually. But what such a reduction forces us to see is how well characters can be developed without the shiny outside appearance. Emotional and relatable characters don't stem from great graphics, detailed illustrations, or a unique art style. Don't get me wrong, all those things are great and can be added. But crafting emotional characters consists of so much more than nice artwork. This is true to any illustrated story, be it picture books, graphic novels, animated movies, or games. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I added the animation I mentioned in the description below, so if you're interested in a summary, go ahead and watch that. Also, if you're an illustrator, designer, or animator yourself, let me know what you thought of this topic. I'm very interested in your opinion. I'll see you in the next video.